What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Run the North podcast. Today, we are going to start off by talking about the running back market and all these guys not getting paid, and if they should get paid, if they should not get paid, whole philosophy on running backs in the NFL these days, and then we are going to be giving you guys our Dark Horse Award predictions for this upcoming season. But before we get into all that,
it's a lot of dead air. We can't just do dead air. What are we doing?
what are you guys doing?
God, Jake.
I was waiting for one of you two to start talking. I was going to see how long I could sit there.
You have to ask the question. You can't just say something.
And you can't just leave
I say
dead
the same
air.
thing
This
every
is
single
an
time.
audio podcast.
It's not. We have episodes
Oh
on
my
YouTube.
God.
If you were wondering what's going on, why don't you slide on over to the YouTube and hit subscribe while you're over there?
Or you can
This guy
stay on
thinks he's a
Spotify and
marketing
we'll
genius.
control Jake's idiocy over here. That was nuts. You can't just go silent in the middle of the intro.
Hey,
You know how
if
many
it- if
people
it-
just
hey.
clicked off the video?
If it upsets you
All
that much,
12
you just
of them
started
probably
talking. Yeah, probably.
You just tanked our average watch time.
Grayson
This
is the
video's
only
not
one
getting
still
pushed at all.
here.
Nobody's gonna hear me yelling.
Grayson and
Fuck.
probably him are the only two people left.
Ugh. Nah, they clicked off too. They have the attention spans of squirrels.
No, they didn't. They
It's not
they're still
true.
here.
We're still here.
They're still, maybe. Fuck.
How are you guys doing? We're at it.
I'm doing fine. I'm just very busy. Scheduling team previews sucks, but you know, it's worth it.
Is it though?
No, it's not.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
Should
it
never
is.
do
My
the
Bears one
mechanics
has
of this
5 views now.
shit.
W.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of tired. Dealing with our well not working the last couple of days and then having to catch up on all that work today has been fun. So this is actually me relaxing is doing this podcast. This is my relaxing for the day.
Oh,
Oh, we're gonna ruin it for you then. You should.
yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, we are
don't
going
worry.
to do
You guys
everything
ruin
we
my
can.
Tuesday nights every week. It's okay.
Hey, just
Good.
because we know ball and you can't handle the truth doesn't mean that. Like, remember the Ryan Tannehill debate? How wrong you were. Like, literally, and the Mahomes Chad Henne debate. Like, you've been cooked so many times, and the Indigo debate, and all of this stuff. You've been cooked so many times. You're just sick of it.
You're
And we
listing
know it.
times where the
debate?
rest of the world knows I was right, and you're just on
What
drugs.
was the Tannehill debate? What was that?
Tannehill debate was we were trying to argue something about why Marcus Mariota, but why Ryan Tannehill was good by making the argument that because he beat Marcus Mariota, who was at one point a decent quarterback out, he was a really good
okay.
quarterback, and how they would have won the Super Bowl if he hadn't gotten
I
hurt in
have been-
Miami.
I've been on a tear, not like publicly, but just like in general. I've been on a tear, just tearing down Ryan Tannehill at any opportunity I
Which is funny, because a couple
get.
weeks ago you were
And I
propping
don't
him
know
up.
why?
Because you
I wasn't propping him
you
up.
were. Go re-listen to that episode.
I forget why we were trying to make
What I
Tannehill
said.
look good.
I don't remember.
yeah, I mean,
you guys
hey,
get on those
hey,
tangents of
let's
saying
push some more
stupid shit.
propaganda.
No,
Let's push some
see,
more propaganda
you guys
here.
get on this tangent where you start saying stupid shit, and I just zone out until you shut up.
Yeah,
So
I was being
True.
facetious.
Uh-huh. You don't even know what that word means. Spell it. I dare you.
FAC.
No, it starts with a
IOUS.
silent M. No. There are words that start with a silent M, and it freaks me out. How is an M silent?
What word starts with a silent M? Pterodactyl.
No, there is a,
The Green Bay
pterodactyl.
Packers.
the Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay Packers.
No, I don't know if that joke was real. It's a Friends joke. I forget you two are young and don't watch good shows.
I mean, I've seen all of Friends.
I haven't.
Do you not remember
Yeah.
when he's interviewing with that other paleontologist guy? Spell Boctodictyosaur? No, it starts with a silent M. Oh, come on!
That one.
Yeah.
The only
Yeah, I do
thing I
remember
know
that.
of Friends is the theme song.
I've been unwillingly subjected to some New Girl recently because my sister's watching.
Unwillingly,
Yeah.
New Girl is the best sitcom.
I might need to sit down and watch it myself, but
You do.
I'm not saying that in the sense that I don't want to watch it. I just haven't been choosing to watch it. It's just been on TV, and I've just been sitting there just like, oh, that's Jake Johnson.
Nick Miller is my
What's he
spirit animal.
doing?
I just
am
started.
Nick Miller.
I finally started watching Quarterback.
I haven't.
I'm watching
started it
Quarterback. I'm watching Succession, which is so good. Succession is absolutely killer. But speaking of Quarterback, speaking of Ryan
yet.
Tannehill, this
I
is
don't
something
get
that
to
we
talk
can
about what
touch
I've been
on.
watching. Okay.
What have you been watching, Miller? What have you been up to? Have you watched Quarterback yet?
No, I haven't. I have been binge watching Critical Role.
That's valid. It's harder to watch because you have to pay.
Are you gonna tell me about Dimension 20?
Yeah,
Yeah, my buddy's been trying to get
Brennan's
me into it.
better.
He watches it.
Brennan's better.
I like the group in
Okay,
Critical Role.
But since you're running a D&D game now, you're going to want to pull... So Mercer is really good at describing a scene.
Mhm.
Brennan's better at playing like all of the NPCs and the bad guys and really getting you into that.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
Look
you
into
need
it.
both. You need, you want to pull the scene describing of Mercer
Mhm.
together with the character playing of Brennan.
Yeah.
Sorry, suddenly this is
Yeah,
a
see,
D&D podcast.
I sat and binged all of The Legend of Vox Machina in like a day,
Valid.
and now started actually watching Critical Role, and it's
The
been a great decision.
Spider-Man
He thinks
bobblehead is
it's
Jake's
stealing my
Millennium Falcon.
He
Right?
thinks he's me.
Yeah, because this is one of the few times in this podcast where I have nothing to contribute. This is.
Well, you could just
This is
play
like- this
D&D
is like-
with us
That's
and
real.
you'd know.
I have friends
Run the
from all
North
sides of
D&D
my.
game.
I have friends from all sides of my life trying to get me to D&D, and I just listened to a big podcast that did a game of D&D for an episode, and it was very entertaining. So I'm starting to lean, but I haven't. I
Oh
haven't
my
fully
god,
committed
when
yet.
am I running the Run the North
But
D&D
Who
game?
I would probably be down. I would need
us
some
and who else?
assistance, but I would probably be down.
Steven definitely would want in, I feel like.
Oh, for sure. Grayson would probably want in.
We could, yeah.
I don't know if you'd want a DM for Grayson, but
I mean, I can, if he annoys me, I can literally just murder him in any funny
That's a
way
good
I
point.
want to.
that's
5 minutes into the episode, okay, all right, Grayson, you're dead.
No,
Goodbye.
See, no, but you do it way cooler than that. As you guys are traveling, a thunderstorm starts, and, throughout the day you're seeing different lightning strikes, and then eventually one just strikes Grayson.
And then
explodes.
eventually, Grayson is the only one who gets struck, and everybody else is completely unharmed.
Yeah. It's D&D, bro. Don't ask questions.
That's true. That's true.
D&D, dude,
I tried to kick in this door. Oh, I rolled a nat 1. You kick the door and the entire building moves back 15 feet.
But yeah, let's getting into some football here.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about
Sportscast.
Ryan. We mentioned Ryan Tannehill, and that sparked a talking point in me. We do need to mention that earlier this week, DeAndre Hopkins signed with the Tennessee Titans,
I don't get it.
a 2-year deal,
oh, wait.
$26 million. He's making $13 a year. It's a good deal for him,
I get why it happened.
money-wise.
I
Yeah,
I understand why it happened.
no
I
one
don't.
else was willing. Clearly, no one else was willing to give D-Hop that much money. That has to
Okay.
be the reason.
I really
That's
just
why
wasn't
he signed.
expecting
Who
D-Hop to be
cares?
prioritizing the money
He
over
wanted
the
money.
ring.
Then why did he
Yes.
want out of Arizona? He was making money.
True.
I don't know, man.
Okay,
He was
the
making
question really
more
becomes,
money in Arizona. Then doesn't
No,
make any
man.
sense.
The
Stay
question
there
becomes,
and
because
suck.
this is certainly interesting to talk about, because the one thing that has been the criticism of the Titans offense in recent years is that they've had Derrick Henry, but they haven't had a serious threat at wide receiver. And now,
Not AJ Brown until last year.
Yeah,
no.
I
But,
love that tweet that was like when the Titans GM realizes he could have just kept.
Yeah.
I
AJ
don't
Brown.
because
Like, last
the
year,
people
like,
doing that are stupid. It's a
like,
different
they are.
GM. That's not
Yeah.
how this works. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's like a big AJ Brown was a big part of the reason why like the Titans had success without like any of the receiver help, and so I think there is certainly a chance. Although the Titans team is probably worse all around than it was that year when they were the 1 seed with Vrabel carrying them. I think there is a chance that DeAndre Hopkins has the same kind of effect with this team, and they could actually be a tiny bit of a threat because they have a serious receiving threat again.
I don't care if Ryan Tannehill gets benched within the first 5 weeks.
The team's
That's
better
what I'll
off
care
with
about this
Tannehill.
move.
I mean, to be fair, the other two options are not better than Tannehill. Oh, I mean, yeah.
I'm not saying I want to watch Tannehill.
That does not mean that I'd rather them starting for my team. Yeah.
My point with that is you have D-Hop for 2 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Developing either of those quarterbacks, probably Levis, because clearly the Titans hate Willis for whatever reason. Why would you waste a year of that on Tannehill when at best you're going to be a wild card team and then get completely?
Because quarterback sitting doesn't hurt them. I know
it doesn't hurt them. I don't disagree with that, but I just think they'd be better off playing Levis. It's not like Levis is the rawest quarterback ever. Levis could play year one.
Zero chance that anybody but Tannehill takes the first snap of the year for them. I think there's no chance that happens.
But I'm saying if it doesn't happen within the first couple weeks, then I'm going to be very much.
So you're 5-0. You want to bench Tannehill?
Well, they're not going to be 5-0.
Okay.
I really find it hard to believe that.
Here's the thing we're missing. I think the thing we're all forgetting. Yes, last year they sucked, right? 15 of their 22 starters last year missed more than 8 games. They were the most injured team in football, and they were still 1 game away from beating the Jaguars out for the division.
I don't think the Titans are bad. I think Tannehill's bad.
To be fair, Miller might have a point.
Below average.
Because their first 5 games of the year, 3 of them are Chargers, Browns, Bengals. And all 3 of those teams are probably going to absolutely beat the garbage out of them.
Maybe.
Listen,
most likely.
If in some world they're 5-0, obviously you don't bench Tannehill.
But if they're like 2-3 and Levis or Willis is doing something, practice, like,
because you've got Tannehill.
The thing is, like,
well, he's coming off 2 lower body injuries. He's not that good to begin with. And you have a young quarterback that, like I said, isn't super raw. It's not like this is Malik Willis again. Levis could play in year 1 and you could feel okay about it. Sure, you can sit him and that'll help. But he's also not somebody that you have to coddle. You can throw him out there and let him do his thing. And I think having DeAndre Hopkins for this year, developing chemistry with him going into his sophomore year where they can build around him more would be a really good idea. Now, like you said, if Tannehill's winning games, different story. I just don't think that's going to happen.
Also,
I have very little faith in Tannehill.
That's valid.
Part of a quarterback being benched is not only him being bad, but also they have to have confidence in somebody behind him, and they don't in Levis or Willis right now. There has been no signs of confidence in either of those two. And the thing is, like, this is like a very similar situation to what Atlanta had going on last year, and it took them until week 14 to actually start Desmond Ridder. So like,
how good
and Levis is
he was on the field,
right? So I think if Tannehill does get benched this year, it'll be super late. The thing is, like, I don't know. Like, they would have to, like, I would say that he'd probably get benched in week 13 or 14, and Levis would play.
I mean, yeah, realistically, that's probably what'll happen, but they're just prolonging.
I don't think it'll be an early season thing. I think Tannehill, I don't know. He's a fine game manager. The Titans seem to be a very
rash organization when it comes to quarterbacks. Look at how quickly they gave up on Willis.
That's also true.
I'm trying to think of what week they benched, like how early it was in the season where they benched Mariota for Tannehill.
It was like week 7 or 8.
I remember, which is funny because we just watched. That was like literally the first. That happens in the first episode of Quarterback. They talk about it.
I don't think he specifically when it happened though. But the point being, DeAndre Hopkins is a Titan now. They were always in the conversation the entire time.
I just think it's so ridiculously stupid.
Listen.
I'm sorry, but also, okay. State tax matters, and there were a couple of teams vying for you that play in a state where you wouldn't have to pay that. Or even if you do, I'm sorry, take $2 million less and go play with the fucking Bills or the Chiefs. What the fuck are you doing?
If I'm DeAndre Hopkins, I'm signing with the Chiefs, like hands down.
Or
number one
I'm
receiving
signing with
option
the
with the best
Bills because
quarterback
it's
in
incredible.
football.
Because you got a good quarterback and you got so many other weapons. You just get to eat the second
Yeah.
corner on another team.
Because the thing is, like, I think there's an argument that Stephon Diggs is currently, maybe not. Maybe Stephon Diggs isn't currently better than D-Hop. I don't know.
I
No,
think
he definitely
You
is.
guys have him ranking.
At this very moment, I think he's.
Having those two on the same team would be just killer, and he wouldn't have the pressure of having to face Jalen Ramsey when they play the Dolphins. I mean, Xavier Howard's good too, but nowhere near Jalen Ramsey good. But to be fair, there is nobody in the AFC South who can really stand up to him corner-wise, unless Stingley really breaks out this year, or like, I don't even know, or like Isaiah Rodgers is suspended, Kenny Moore's okay, but he's a slot corner. Like, he's probably going to eat in those divisional games, and that might actually end up winning them a bunch of divisional games, which could really matter for the playoff race.
He can eat, but that's going to require a quarterback who can get him the football. And again,
AJ Brown was
not
productive with Tannehill, wasn't he? Am I wrong about that?
D-Hop was the best receiver in the league with TJ
injuries.
Yates. Fuck off. Tannehill's better than TJ
like,
Yates. Shut up. You're being
that's fair.
super disingenuous to
in
D-Hop.
like 5 games with
that wasn't a D-Hop slight. It was a Tannehill slight.
Even then,
5 games
that's still way
with
too
Colt
much
McCoy,
of a slight.
he averaged like 95
I kind
yards.
of forgot about how bad the Cardinals quarterback situation has been. Okay,
I'm talking about the Texans.
That was in Houston.
Oh,
D-Hop's
yeah,
played 2 years of his career with good quarterback play, and he's been one of the 5 best receivers in the league for 10 years.
But last year, with Colt McCoy, he averaged
those
like
two teams, their quarterback history over the past 5 to 10 years, some of them go out of your fucking ears because they don't sound like real people.
Savage.
Yates is not a TJ Yates is not a quarterback I have thought about in the last 3 years.
I keep bringing him up because of D-Hop all the time.
Yeah, and like I said, that wasn't meant to be a D-Hop slight. That was me trying to say I have no faith in Tannehill. Once again, to reiterate that point.
Gotcha. That's valid. But also, for D-Hop's the one guy that it truly has never mattered. Put one of us out there. He's going to go put up 15 and 10, and it's all good.
Yeah. Well, DeAndre Hopkins is a Titan.
Poor guy.
Will it work out?
No.
I don't know. Will the Titans make the playoffs? I don't think so.
Look at how it worked for Randy Moss and Andre Johnson, and tell me how going to the Titans
and
when
Julio
you're old
Jones.
Robert Woods.
Robert Woods, who even was pretty good before Tennessee. Much less of a degree, but he still was like a pretty productive receiver before Tennessee. But the other big news we wanted to get into and we wanted to talk about before we head into our Dark Horse Award predictions is the whole running back market situation that kind of escalated yesterday with no long-term deals for either Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, or Tony Pollard, who is the only one of these 3 who's actually planning on playing because, he hasn't really proved much. Like, Saquon and Josh Jacobs know that they really don't have to play because they feel like they've proven all they need to. I think that's a mindset that they're in. I'm not saying it's the right mindset, but what I'm saying is what I think they believe right now is that they were on contract years, they played super well. Like Saquon, I guarantee Saquon does not believe he has anything to prove. He has been every year he's been healthy. He has consistently produced for them. Josh Jacobs just had a career year and was a huge factor in their offense actually being competent last year. Tony Pollard hasn't done anything yet because he hasn't really been the feature back yet.
My point is sitting for a year just doesn't work.
Off a major injury.
Sitting for a year
is going to ruin their careers.
Yeah, it did to Le'Veon. Le'Veon was the best running back in football when he did that, and he came back and was bad. Like, don't do that.
I wholeheartedly think both Saquon and Josh Jacobs, I want them to get paid, but they're not going to, and they should just play next year.
Yeah,
and they're still both going to be, and they're still both going to be incredibly good, and maybe that'll get them paid somewhere else. But
maybe not.
I don't know.
Dude, running back is so tough.
What running backs gotten like big money? Like I know that, I know the Schefter tweet about the last 10 mil plus a year's contract was Chubb 700 days ago.
Like 12.
Chubb, Henry, Dalvin.
Is Taylor due to get paid at some point? That's going to be a whole different thing. Taylor's going to
at least
they're going to have to make a decision about Taylor.
Yeah, McCaffrey got paid.
Oh no, they're only a year from his extension. I forgot he wasn't a first-round pick, so no fifth-year option. But no, thinking of the guys who have gotten paid, CMC, Henry, Chubb, Dalvin is still making close to that from the Vikings. because that's how money
Mhm.
works. Even though he's not on the team, he still gets the guarantees of his contract. They just don't count towards the it's NFL cap.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and it's weird because the guys who get paid, sometimes it works out, but sometimes it's Dalvin Cook. But it's just
Mhm.
the fact that they have to play 4 or 5 years before they get a chance to make any money, and by the time that
Mhm.
4 or 5 years is done, they're cooked. Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh.
look, at the end of the day, this whole running back situation isn't going to get resolved until we see major changes at the position in terms of what players are focusing on coming out. Like, McCaffrey was the last running back to get a big extension, right? I don't know how much money he's making off the top of my head,
I think
but he
Wasn't
was
it
the
Chubb?
most recent one.
Chubb was the most recent, but McCaffrey
Chubb was after McCaffrey?
yeah.
Okay, then
Chubb-
McCaffrey's
the
making
Schefter
the
tweet.
most.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, McCaffrey's making the most.
Yeah.
And that is because McCaffrey isn't just a running back. He is a running back and a wide receiver rolled up into one. And I'm not saying that these other guys, aside from Derrick Henry, can't catch the ball out of the backfield and be effective. It's just none of them are going out there and running zig routes and running double move routes and, like, legitimately playing the position of wide receiver. You look at the draft this year, 2 running backs went in the first round, Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson. Both of them are fully capable of doing what McCaffrey does in running routes as a halfback out of the backfield, at wide receiver, things like that. So that's clearly what the NFL is looking for. That's clearly what the NFL is valuing. And these running backs that aren't like that just aren't going to get the money they want. Saquon was asking for what, like $20 million guaranteed? Something like that, something in that ballpark.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chubb and Henry are only getting $12 million a year guaranteed, and those two, that's what they're getting. And I understand, the market fluctuates, and as guys get paid, the next guy wants more money. NFL teams aren't going to do that with running backs. It's kind of like that's going to be the blueprint for running backs that aren't like McCaffrey is going to be
but
right in that
Saquon
$12 million.
is similar to McCaffrey, at least kind of.
He's closer than most, but he's still not there. Like, I wouldn't say he's a wide receiver running back.
So his rookie year, he had 121 targets, 91 catches, 721 yards. Last year, he was the most productive receiver on the Giants.
Yeah, but that's my point with that is less that he's not catching the football, but it's more that he's not as versatile as McCaffrey.
Sure.
The versatility is the big thing. Like, you're not putting Saquon out, split out wide at wide receiver and saying, hey, go run a double move against a corner.
Sure.
You're telling McCaffrey to do that from time to time. Saquon's not doing that. I'm not saying these guys can't catch the ball out of the backfield. They're fully capable of doing so.
That's actually what
and
got
they can be
Dalvin
productive.
paid.
Right.
Was because he was a mirror to CMC until the injuries piled up and suddenly not doing that anymore.
Yeah. And then you have guys like Aaron Jones who are also kind of in the middle, where he's not quite CMC, but he's more in line with like Barkley, where he's productive. He's just not as versatile. He doesn't have as many tools in his arsenal, so to speak. So those backs are more likely to get paid. It's just Saquon asking $20 million. Teams aren't going to budge on that. Do I think he's worth it? Abso-fucking-lutely with how much the Giants need him.
Yeah.
The Giants offense is going to go from a team that could be good to bad if they do not have Saquon Barkley. That's not a slight at your boy Eric Gray. He's just not as good as Saquon.
Saquon is that offense. Like,
yes,
I wasn't
entirely.
even thinking of that as a slight at Eric Gray. Eric Gray, if Saquon doesn't play all year, Eric Gray will play and play probably pretty well. But it's not going to be Saquon. It's just not.
That's the other thing, too. If these running backs sit out outside of Saquon, if Jacobs were to sit out, if Pollard were to sit out, the Raiders and the Cowboys can just go, okay, we're going to go sign a veteran for $2 million, and he's going to be maybe not as productive, but he's going to do what they need him to do. He'll pick up tough yardage on third down and short. He'll be able to run the clock out, and that's the reality. NFL teams are realizing that the running back position just doesn't provide as much value if they're not super versatile players. Because at the end of the day, and I know this sounds incredibly dehumanizing, but it is how GMs and owners look at players. Every player is an asset.
Yep.
And when you have a salary cap, a fixed amount of money that you can spend, you need to allocate your funds towards the assets that provide the most value. That's why quarterbacks, wide receivers, left tackles, edge rushers, those are the 4 premium positions in football right now. You can throw corner in there as well, make it 5, make it a pretty round number.
Yeah.
Those 5 positions get the most amount of money because it's a passing league, and those are the 5 positions that are the most important to passing the football. You need the guy to throw it, the guy to catch it, the guy to go after the guy that catches it, the guy to block the guy going after the guy that block. You get what I'm saying. I am putting words in my mouth that I don't need to. Point is, those are the 5 most important positions. Running backs just don't contribute to that as much. And when you see guys like Deontay Foreman and Khalil Herbert and Alexander Madison all being good on cheap contracts or rookie contracts, there's no reason for these teams to go out and splurge on an $18 million a year deal on a really good running back. It's unfair to these backs. Sure, I agree 100%. I love the run game more than anybody. I want these guys to get paid 110%. But it's just not realistic with the current landscape of the league, and I feel like a lot of people are kind of ignoring the business aspect of it, and I get it. It sucks. You want to look at the personal things. You want to look at Josh Jacobs and be like, hey, this guy worked his ass off. He deserves it, and he does. But from a business standpoint, it's just not a smart investment because of how bad the return on investment has been historically.
Yeah.
It sucks, but it's the case. And I mean, Geek, you know that better than anybody with Dalvin.
Yeah.
Went from a top 5 back to the least efficient back in football overnight.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think that this franchise tag year for both of them will kind of be that feel out year for the teams. But like that kind of fall off can happen at any point. Saquon's got injury history. Even Josh Jacobs hasn't never been fully healthy for like this prior year.
Injury.
Pollard might not even play like the first 5 or 6 games of this season, depending on how bad the injury is. Yeah. And especially with Pollard, he is the least proven of these 3.
Yeah.
He's the one that I definitely do. I'm not advocate. I do not think Pollard should have gotten paid by
he's
yesterday.
not
I do not
get
think
to
he should
prove
have.
it this year.
No.
Because the Cowboys are going to bring back Zeke.
The Cowboys could either bring back Zeke,
would make so much
or they'll just
going to be cheap,
or
and he's productive.
Yeah, or they'll just draft somebody in this upcoming draft.
Well, no, I mean they're bringing Zeke back for this year, so Pollard's not going to be able to prove himself.
Right, but I'm saying instead of paying Pollard,
draft
Deuce
Vaughn.
Yeah, and they drafted Deuce Vaughn too.
Deuce Vaughn is another running back that, even though he is tiny, can go out and run routes.
He can work.
He's very Darren Sproles, Tariq Cohen-esque.
Yeah.
If I'm the Cowboys, from an objective standpoint, taking feelings, taking the humane side out of things, which again I know sucks, but that's business. Looking at it objectively, I would much rather bring in Zeke to be that ground and pound guy and let Deuce Vaughn be my kind of main running back, so to speak, than to pay Pollard $19 million a year.
Yeah.
Especially with how good Pollard Zeke is as a pass blocker. You can use him for other things.
Yeah.
And Pollard is so much more easily replaced than Saquon and Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
That's the thing is
because that offense can do stuff with that.
Yeah, and the problem is Saquon and Josh Jacobs also, neither of them are really on the younger side of things.
Yeah, they're both 25, 26?
Not necessarily sure so much.
By running back standards,
really that's that money. But running back standards, 25 and 26 for a long-term deal is pretty tough.
Yeah, you're reaching the end of your lifespan.
Especially because Dalvin Cook got paid around that age and this happened.
I think the big thing, running backs shouldn't be able to be franchise tagged. Force the team to pay them and not get a free year.
$10 million less than any other position.
I don't disagree with that, but the only thing is if you start giving a position special, like playing devil's advocate,
they already
right? What do you mean?
The special treatment of they do, it's weird. I guess they don't, but they do. Running back just gets the shaft constantly.
Yes, absolutely.
So if you're going to give them unfavorable treatment, maybe it's time you give them special treatment, because it's not like it matters. They're going to get 7 years and then be retired.
Right. But then if you say, hey, running backs can't be franchise tagged anymore, you look at these guys who get stuck on shitty teams at other positions that want to leave, and they see that running backs aren't getting franchise tagged.
I just think the franchise tag shouldn't exist.
And I mean, that is
I've
a
said
realistic
that since
thing.
Kirk was getting
I don't disagree with that at
every
all.
year in
But
Washington.
my point is, you can't. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do something like that, you got to do it
That's fair.
league-wide. You can't just do it at one position. But the problem with that is the owners are going to be so beyond against that because it is such a cheat code.
Funnily enough, the Players Association fucked up with the CBA in like 2012 or whatever, when it was the 4-year rookie contract. You have to sign, if you're first round pick, it's a 4-year deal. Fuck that. Go back. Let these dudes negotiate their actual contracts. Let Bijan, if he wants to, sign a 1-year deal with Atlanta and then say, either you'll pay me afterwards or somebody else will.
Yeah. And I mean,
owners won't like that, but fuck them.
Yeah, but the only problem is, don't the owners have to sign off on that shit, or is the CBA exclude the owners completely?
Well, it would be the same thing as what players would go on strike again, which has happened before.
Yeah.
So eventually the owners will give in when they stop making money.
Yeah. Now, the problem with that is you have to get the rest of the league, like the rest of the positions on your side, which I think in that case you could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's everybody getting more money.
It's not gonna work because you're gonna have what were they calling Straw Hat Goofy over the whole writer's strike? What's the word for
Scabs.
it? Somebody does. Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of scabs in the running back market because these guys that are not on, because there's a lot of running backs out there right now in free agency that are serviceable that aren't on a team. If every starting running back goes on strike, those guys are going to eat up that opportunity. So it's not like just running backs can go on strike.
Maybe. Well, I don't know if they would, but would NFL teams care? Fuck it, we just can't run the ball. I'll sign a couple extra receivers. Let's go.
No, I think if that's the case, if we're in a world where every running back does go on strike, they probably just put a receiver at running back.
That's also
Deebo
true.
Deebo Samuel would become the highest paid player in NFL history if that were to happen.
They put receivers at running back. Maybe you get a fucking fullback renaissance where they're like, fuck it, Kyle, you're the lead back now.
So, the other thing, I gotta bring this up because it's been annoying me. If I see that fucking graphic, the average kicker's pay versus the average running back's pay one more time, I'm gonna get so... There are 34 kickers maybe that are on a roster. Maybe
70 running backs at least.
There's 4 running backs per team. There's
I'm
more
bad
than
at numbers.
70. There's normally about at least 3 per team. So even just going based off of that, you're
roughly
around 100.
There's roughly 100.
But so yeah, kickers are going to make more on average because there are less of them. You don't roster extra kickers ever, except in the preseason. They're rostered until the start of the regular season.
The Bears from like 2018 to 2020.
Yeah, but we don't count whatever that Matt Nagy shit show was. We don't talk about that. We don't.
Yeah. And hey, listen, speaking of the Bears, since I brought him up, more proof with the whole running backs just not holding as much
letting
value.
Monty go.
Yeah, the 2 top run games in the NFL, the Bears and the Eagles, their lead backs, David Montgomery and Miles Sanders, both on brand new teams.
And those 2 teams will be in the top 5 again next year.
Yes.
The Lions and the Panthers. Yeah, I can see that.
No, I mean the Bears and the Eagles will be in the top 5.
Stay there.
Oh, because of how efficient Herbert is.
No, it just doesn't matter that they lost Monty and Sanders.
And they both, running backs nowadays are more based on scheme than anything. I mean, obviously you have your outliers. Guys like Barkley and Jacobs are outliers. Don't get me wrong. But the league doesn't give a fuck about outliers when their backup can do, almost as good of a job.
Yeah,
for
when you can get
90%
for 50% of the money makes sense.
Less
The
than
Panthers'
50%,
run
really.
game didn't have as much of a drop off as you would have expected post
No,
McCaffrey.
Deontay Foreman was awesome last year.
Like Foreman was great, and even Chuba Hubbard had his moments, and
Them
like
paying Miles
literally-
Sanders still confusing. I would have kept Donta and Chuba.
and letting
Yeah.
Foreman
I'm
walk.
glad they didn't because I get to reap the benefits.
Sure,
Yeah,
but I also then have to now deal with. I
Same
like
thing with,
rooting for
like-
Donta. And now
it's like
I
the
can't.
whole trio of not anymore, but like the whole Chris Carson and Rashad Penny thing. When Chris Carson would go
Yeah.
down, Penny would just come in and do
Yeah.
even
And like,
better.
look at what the
And,
Seahawks did this year.
and then
They
Ken
drafted
Walker
two
came
running
in after Penny got hurt and did the exact same thing
Yep.
as he was able to do.
Yeah.
And
They lost Penny and they lost Travis Homer, so they drafted 2 running backs, and now they've got another 4 years
yeah,
of Charbonnet and Georgia dude that I always forget the name of behind Walker.
Yeah,
What's his
Uh,
fucking name?
I don't know.
Kenny McIntosh.
Kenny McIntosh.
There you go.
Yeah.
But bottom line, Barkley and Jacobs are going to play this year.
They gotta.
They're
Le'Veon
saying
needs
what
to
they're going
call
to
them.
say.
Listen,
Le'Veon
Le'Veon
actually.
came out last week. He was like, "It was the worst mistake in my career." Like leaving the Steelers.
He knows.
Like if they don't see that as evidence, I don't know what else we can tell them.
It also doesn't
But-
help that he signed with the Jets, but you know.
listen.
It's
Speaking of
true.
Le'Veon, can I read you all a tweet?
Is it a Le'Veon tweet like himself?
It is a Le'Veon tweet regarding the whole running back situation right now. Disney, a long time ago, 1998, taught me a valuable lesson about sticking together. Go watch A Bug's Life. ... It'll put in perspective the running back market. ... The running backs are the ants. ... I'm Flick, the inventive ant. I took all the damage from the grasshoppers. Owners.
Yeah, he's not
Oh,
wrong.
I know what I'm doing.
He
after we
either
stop
just cooked
recording
up the
tonight. I'm watching
Greatest
Bugs Life.
analogy of all time, or that man needs to lay off the weed. I cannot tell which it is.
It's both.
Probably a
It's
little
either
bit of
beautiful
both.
or nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
Le'Veon was like legit the best running back in the league.
Mhm.
And he was the same age as Saquon is right now. He took a year off and
Just-
came back and was awful.
For the Giants, man, you made the playoffs with this team last year. You could do it again potentially.
They won't franchise tag you a second time. Go get a contract with somebody else.
Yeah, like if Saquon and Josh Jacobs go nuclear again this year, somebody else is going to pull the trigger and give
The
in
problem
cave.
is, though, those deals aren't going to be as long. Nobody's going to offer them a 4-year
So,
deal after this year.
If Saquon yeah.
Who cares? Stop looking
They
at
do, 'cause it's
4-year
less
deals.
money.
No, because 4-year deals never actually make you the money. The guarantees are in the first 2 anyways. Go sign a 2-year
Yeah.
fully guaranteed contract for $28 million and fucking chill out. Don't
Yeah.
get so caught up on the years that don't matter.
Well, yeah.
Like, I know that's such a weird thing to say because I know there's the incentives and all the extra stuff. The guarantees are all that matter because that is all that is guaranteed. So fuck your extra years. Because if you're still good after those 2, somebody will give you a contract. It's when you fall off that people don't want to pay you. So as long as you don't fall off, you're going to get paid. Just be smart about how you go about it. Demanding
Yeah.
4 years, $20 million a year is ridiculous. Demanding
Yeah.
2 years at like 30, you might
That
get
can
that.
Yeah.
You might.
Maybe, yeah.
They're both going to play next year. They have
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Pollard will play whenever he's healthy. He
If
already
they
signed his
don't,
franchise
careers
tag
are
there. He's
over.
Yeah. Like, if they don't play, maybe on Battle Effect, same thing is going to happen.
Yeah.
And listen, one more thing to add on to this. To everyone out there saying that, parents need to prevent their kids from playing running back if they want to make it to the league now.
Play
I think
running
that
back.
is-
Running back's the easiest way to get to the league.
Right. I think that is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard for that main reason. So here's your
Running backs
Miller
have to be the
football
most
parenting
drafted
tip of the
position
day.
in the
Okay?
draft.
Miller football parenting tip of the day. Don't tell your kids not to play running back. Just teach them how to run routes.
True.
That will save them.
Teach them
Tell
how to
them
run
man up
routes
to
and
play
catch.
fullback.
Yeah. Yeah, because, unironically, and I could go on a whole other tangent about this, I'm not.
Oh,
But
no.
what's happening to running backs right now is just a more publicized version of what happened to fullbacks.
That's true. Yeah, that
It
is.
is quite literally the same thing. And fullbacks, it took them a while to adjust. You know, we're just now getting into the realm where they're all like Kyle Juszczyk. Because the fullback went from big hulking extra lineman to, hey, now I'm like kind of a tight end, kind of a running back. What are you going to do? Running backs need to go from, oh, I'm big bruiser man, to I'm kind of a running back, I'm kind of a wide receiver. What are you going to do? Shout out to bruiser backs, though. Y'all are my kin. I love you. Roshan Johnson, you are my favorite person.
He's listening. He appreciated it.
Roshan will be on this podcast one day. Mark my words. And I will call him my glorious king to his face.
Oh no.
That is a Miller football promise. Clip it. Keep that in your camera rolls.
I guess that's our TikTok clip for this week's episode, is Miller guaranteeing Roshan Johnson's presence on this podcast at some point. Maybe
more that I would call him my glorious king if he.
I mean, eventually we're gonna get to the point where we're big enough where athletes are asking us to be on the show. They're like,
yeah,
please,
Justin Fields is gonna be in my
please.
DMs begging to come on.
I need this.
I've got
please.
CJ Ham on
I need
Tuesday,
this.
Corey Blassingame on Wednesday, Jason Cabinda on Thursday.
Bro,
Might
if
be
we
able
get to the
squeeze you in
point where
Friday.
this is happening and we're getting that many people, we need employees,
making
because
money.
I don't want to be making that many videos.
But
I
yeah,
don't
to be
wanna be
fair,
trying to edit
like
that many
eventually
shows.
when the Run the North office opens and we got a bunch of employees and we have a full live studio,
So
and
we
this
have
is
to
our job.
open the Run the North office in Florida, right? Just so it's like as far south as we
Yeah,
can
little
get.
side tangent. If this thing goes nuclear and we get the opportunity to have the Run the North office, and it's like a Barstool situation
It's
where
gonna
we
be
have
in
actual
Vegas.
employees and we get to like record in a live studio, and this is our job. Where are we putting the headquarters? My vote.
Western Maryland, so I don't have to go anywhere.
No, that's stupid. State tax
Miller gets
exists.
to commute.
Think about this with a brain, okay? Like, use a brain. State tax exists in Maryland, not an option. Try again.
I don't.
This guy's
I don't
talking
know how I
about
feel about
money.
Vegas though.
Why?
Vegas could be cool.
Think about Vegas.
Vegas would be, but the thing is, Vegas would be super expensive for us to move into.
No.
we would all
Vegas
have to
is
have
not
places
that
in
expensive
Vegas.
to get into.
Wouldn't we
It's
all have to have
actually
our
not.
like?
Guys,
How much are we all
We
gonna have to pay
can
for our own
literally
places in
live stream
Vegas?
from Area 51.
Dude, apartments in Vegas are not that expensive. I've actually been looking into this. Because Vegas is a good
Up and welcome
plan.
back to another episode of the Run the North podcast. We're out here at Area 51.
Okay,
and
we
are
could
going to
do
be
that,
talking
though.
about
Everybody
the-
gangsta until I ask them. Listen, I'm just saying, everybody gangsta until I ask the little gray men about fullbacks.
True.
Okay, I want to know their take.
We have
I wanna know,
a
they
security
appreciate
guard
it.
coming our way right now. Excuse me, sir.
Oh,
Excuse me,
God.
sir. How do you feel about
Miller
fullbacks?
Duck, there's a red dot on your head? No.
Yeah, it's red
Miller,
dot.
quick, say something about fullbacks. Get us out of here.
It's big passing game. Fucking all the way across the field with a sniper. It's not the
It's big
government. The
passing
government
game.
let us be there.
Yeah.
They just don't want
Okay,
me to
but
spread my
here's my
propaganda
pitch, and Miller would like
to
this.
a
Miller would like
fucking
this.
universal audience.
Here's my pitch. I have two cities in mind if we were to open the Run the North office. Uno, Chicago.
No.
Chicago would be. I would
tax
love an
it-
office in Chicago.
That is
that place is
that is
crazy
4
good.
times more expensive to live in than Vegas. What are you doing?
It'd be cooler than Vegas. Love Chicago.
It would be
Cool city.
colder.
My second option is just like South Dakota.
No.
No reason.
No.
No, Wyoming. What's
No. There's not
Run the
good
North
enough
office is
internet
just-
here.
the
No.
Run the North office is just going to be Geek's house.
No.
We're all just
No.
going to live there.
I'm not going to live here. I refuse. The internet sucks. The weather sucks. Everything
Okay.
sucks. No. The real options.
Vegas.
The real options are Washington State, Nevada, Texas, Florida. That's really it. 'Cause the other state without state
Okay,
tax is
so
like
what I'm
Mississippi.
hearing-
So,
What I'm hearing is the basement of FedEx Field
Texas
is
has
going to
gotten
be the Run the North
expensive.
office.
Okay, but
We're not-
Texas
no,
has Southern
Washington
women,
State.
and
FedEx Field is in Washington D.C. You moron.
I'm sorry. I
At this
understand
point, we
that.
could probably just buy FedEx Field.
But what Miller just said, really, I don't know if you heard him, Geek,
No.
but that was one of the most out of pocket but also funniest things I've ever heard him say in this podcast. I'm not going to repeat it because if you heard it, you heard it.
I missed
and
it.
he can go back and listen to this when he edits
It's
this.
unfortunate.
But yeah, big picture,
4401, got
we're
it.
going to be bigger than Barstool at some point. Whatever. Who cares?
I mean, that's
Pardon my
not
take,
hard.
boo.
I promise I am a better human than Dave Portnoy. I promise.
This is true. However,
This is very
hey,
true.
Barstool does produce like the most popular sports podcast ever, so we have to pass them. That's the goal.
They
We'll be
do?
bigger than Pardon My Take. Pardon My Take is like one of the biggest sports
Pat
podcasts
McAfee
ever.
show's bigger.
Pardon my take, more like fuck your take.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
Honestly, let's start that show next week. I want to
honestly.
run fuck your take.
So before we get into the
Like, people
awards, just to
wanted
recap the last 10 minutes of this
Insult them for
podcast.
having different opinions.
We
No
are
recap.
not only guaranteeing Roshan Johnson to be in this podcast, but we are also guaranteeing
I'm gonna
that
shoot him a
one day we
DM
will
real
have
quick.
this podcast
Do
to
it.
be big enough to open an office, hire employees, make this our full-time jobs, and that office will be somewhere
In a
between
state with no
Vegas-
state tax.
Vegas, Florida, Washington State. Those are the three big options.
And Texas.
And when we do that,
Woo.
we'll buy Barstool Sports and we will run them into the ground.
The other thing
We will
with
shut them
Vegas
down
that's
completely.
important, while being the cheapest of all the places we talked about to get into, it's also the cheapest to fly out of to go back to other places. So you
It's
want to
true.
go visit family, it's cheaper to go from Vegas than it is from
And,
anywhere else.
Geek, think
Because there's
about
a
it.
million flights there.
At the time this office opens, Caleb Williams is on year like 7 in Vegas, and we're able to watch him winning MVPs every
Yeah.
Sunday. You know what I'm saying? We're able to watch him throwing 4 tutties every Sunday at Allegiant
cook.
Stadium. We'll have the money. We'll
And
be
hey,
season ticket
every
holders,
8
of course.
years, the Vikings, the Packers, and the Bears go to Vegas. So
Right.
Hey.
So when this podcast inevitably lasts for 30 years of full success, we
Yes.
will
we will have all
we'll
seen
have
our teams
3 full
multiple times.
rotations. But
Oh, God.
you heard it
What
here
was
first.
the point of
But
this episode? Because we
moving
still haven't
into
hit
our
the main
Dark
topic.
Horse Award predictions here. Dark Horse Award predictions. I don't know what Miller's doing. I don't know if he's ready.
No, he's
I
shooting
am
a DM
DMing
to
Roshan
Roshan.
Johnson, which I have to
Dude.
do on Instagram, by the way, because apparently on Twitter now, if you're not verified, you can't DM people that don't follow you.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
Elon,
That just came up.
dude. How
And
did
I
you
only
go
know
from...
about that because I
We could have it in.
people coming on my team previews, and I have had 15 people in the replies of that tweet say, I can't DM you because I'm not verified, but I'd love to come on, and I feel bad. Because I put in the tweet, like, DM me if you're interested, and they can't. But anyways, I DM'd Roshan.
W.
So getting into, speaking of Roshan, maybe our Dark Horse Award picks for this season, because we are going to start with
I
the
mean,
award
now,
that
I
we
have
need to pick
to, yeah.
for. Offensive Rookie of the Year, we're going to start with that one. Okay. I have an entire. I already made a TikTok about this, so I have a list already on my phone, so I can go first for all these if y'all got to think.
Yeah,
But
go for it.
I pick to begin the Dark Horse Award show for Run the North for Offensive Rookie of the Year, Quentin Johnston.
You stole Geek's pick.
Not at all.
Johnston.
I know who your
Johnston.
pick is now, and I'm disgusted.
Definitely, I think he's definitely a dark horse. I haven't looked at the odds, but everyone is pretty much locked in on Bijan Robinson right
Yeah.
now.
I mean,
So
yeah.
anybody else is pretty much a dark horse, right? But here's the thing. Quentin Johnston is in a receiver room that has not been healthy for a very, very long time for a full season. He has Justin Herbert as his quarterback. Kellen Moore is Kellen Moore. We'll see what happens with him. Outside of Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, Keenan Allen is aging and is slowing down. Mike Williams can't stay healthy. He's going to be the most explosive receiving option for the team. I think he could get some super, super good production, especially if Keenan Allen and Mike Williams aren't around in the back half of the season, which is a good chance that at least one of them isn't. So I think Quentin Johnston could go nuclear this year just because of the situation he's been put in. And, he's got the talent to do so. So I'm going Quentin Johnston.
Valid.
Who you got?
You want to go?
No, because I still haven't actually made a pick yet.
So, Okay, so as much as I want to pick Roshan, I can't because there is no path for him to win Rookie of the Year. Not because he's not going to be good. It's just he's going to be sharing the backfield with so many people. It's not going to work, right? You're going to have 4 players on the Bears at least that could surpass 500 rushing yards this year. So that's not going to happen. However, I'm going to go the Jake route. I'm going to talk about a wide receiver, and that's Zay Flowers from the Baltimore Ravens. Because, like we said, pretty much any rookie not named Bijan Robinson, or I would say Bryce Young also, is a dark horse at this point. So you've got Zay Flowers, who in my opinion was the second best receiver in the draft, behind Jackson Smith and Jigba, who I guess you could also say is a dark horse, but I don't think he would be. But Zay Flowers, he's going into a receiver room where everybody else fails to stay healthy consistently. Like Odell's been hurt a lot recently, Rashad Bateman's been hurt a lot recently, and then after that, he's sharing passes with Nelson Aguilar, Devin Duvernay. Obviously, Mark Andrews is there as well. Oh, look, Laquan Treadwell. I don't know why I can't say his name. You're fucking goofy ass.
Pre-show conversation.
Yeah, either way. The point is, Zay Flowers, if those guys go down, which, knock on wood, I hope they don't, there's a very real path for him to be incredibly productive in Baltimore. And even if they don't go down, Zay Flowers is the youngest, quickest, most youthful, and arguably, I would say second most skilled behind Odell in that receiver room. So I think him and Lamar are going to get along very, very well. And I think Lamar Jackson is going to have a big year now that he's in a Todd Monken offense and doesn't have to deal with Hitler calling his passing plays. Much love to Greg. Much love to Greg Roman as run game coordinator. Much love to him as run game coordinator. Throwing the ball, different story. So yeah, I think Zay Flowers is a pretty good dark horse selection.
Valid. Eek. Now you have to.
So I know Miller thinks I'm gonna go with Jordan Addison, but I actually can't. Actually can't. I don't see a path where he is that guy. He's right now at best the 3rd receiving option on that team. In reality, he's probably the 4th right now. He's a weapon.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I'm not going to put a rookie directly above KJ yet. I haven't seen Addison play.
Fair.
So I've seen KJ. And TJ and JJ are above him. So yeah, so I just don't see a path for him. I was then going to cop out and say Dwayne McBride, but I also can't because I don't see a path for him either. So I'm going to go Anthony Richardson. He is, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to go Anthony Richardson.
Thank you. Well played.
Whether he develops into a good passer immediately or not doesn't really matter because he can go the kind of Justin Fields route where he's going to be one of the best running quarterbacks in the game immediately. He'll probably rush for 1,000 yards. And so
the problem is we don't really have much of a precedent to look back on because the 2 best dual threat quarterbacks we've seen, or rushing quarterbacks we've seen, Lamar and Fields didn't play that much in their rookie year, so they didn't really have an argument to win it. But now Richardson's Cam Newton did, right? He won Offensive Rookie of the Year. He had to have.
In his first game, he threw for 400 yards and 4 times.
He's obviously a better passer than rookie Cam Newton was a better passer than Anthony Richardson is currently, I'm sure.
Damn.
But still,
we got us wearing a Cam jersey.
Yeah, Richardson. I like the pick.
Yeah. Give me Richardson. Good pick. Oh no, what are we doing next? D-Roy. Defensive Rookie of the Year here. I don't want to take Miller's pick because I think I'm going to do it.
No, go for it. You might not.
Tyree Wilson.
That wasn't my pick. I wouldn't
Tyree
consider him a dark horse.
I had him and Brian Branch, but then I kind of didn't see Brian Branch as that much of a dark horse when I thought about it more. So I am going to go with Tyree Wilson because Tyree Wilson is awesome, and the offensive lines aren't really going to focus on him too much because of the obvious Max Crosby presence, who I'll talk about later. But Max Crosby. Being there, and I think Tyree Wilson's awesome. I think he was close to being the best edge rusher in this class. It probably was. I know we all have the same kind of view on that, but I think he could be really, really sick this year. There's not that much pressure on him. It's not like he's the number one rushing option, and all the offensive lines are going to like double team him, and everyone's just going to be trying to stop him. I think he could get a decent amount of sacks. I mean, he's more known as a run defender. He can be a good run defender. I don't know. I think he can do it. I'm gonna go Tyree Wilson. I think he can do it.
Valid. Yeah, I personally don't consider Tyree Wilson to be that much of a dark horse, so I wasn't gonna pick him. But I don't blame you for
he might
picking
not
him.
even be too much. Yeah, I haven't looked at the odds. But...
I'm gonna say something crazy. Just so. I think Devon Witherspoon, Christian Gonzalez is the guy that we all think is going to win it. That would be like our actual
Could be our
pick.
consensus pick, yeah.
I'm gonna go with a different corner. Emmanuel Forbes.
No shot. The hater has made his way back around.
Emmanuel Forbes. Here's the thing.
Is it just so his uncle will stop
Okay, okay. Here's the thing with Forbes, right? I've talked about this before on here. I've talked about it on my channel. I've talked about it on Twitter. He was such a hard prospect to give a grade to because he was the most scheme-dependent corner I think I have ever seen, right? If you were a team that runs a lot of cover 4, a lot of quarters, you probably had a first-round grade on him. Washington Commanders did. If you're a team like the Bears or the Vikings that doesn't run a lot of quarters, you probably had a 6th-round grade on him. Because he is so heavily reliant on playing in quarters. However, he ended up in a defense where he is going to play in a quarters defense. And Emmanuel Forbes, for anyone who remembers him from or watched him in college, you know that he was very, very good at forcing turnovers. And I think if you have a guy that's going to potentially force a lot of turnovers, because he absolutely can in the defense he's going to be in, you can have a shot at winning Rookie of the Year. And I think for a corner, unless you're going to have a year like Sauce Gardner just did, where you're just objectively a top 2 corner, forcing a lot of turnovers is kind of your path. So I think Forbes, if he has like a Trayvon Diggs type year, which is certainly possible, I could see him winning it.
I agree. That's kind of valid. Yeah.
That's valid. Do I say the one that'll get Miller to leave, even though that's not my actual pick?
Ivan Pace Jr. You've won defensive rookie of the year.
I don't know.
Well, if that's the case, sorry, I'm taking my pick back. It's actually Javon Dexter.
There you go.
He's going to be better than Chris Jones.
Okay. That's aggressive. So, no, I'm going to go with, I don't know how dark horse this is. I'm going to go Kalijah Cansey. Like we said, he needed to end up in a situation where he was with a big guy who could defend the run. I don't know if there's a better space eater in the world than Vita Vea.
Yeah.
So Kalijah Cansey gets to go just eat quarterbacks. And
True.
I don't know. A defensive tackle winning Rookie of the Year would be so sick. I'm so here for it.
For the record, that's the only reason why I didn't say Javon Dexter.
Has there been one that won? Has there been a defensive tackle that's won since Aaron Donald?
He was a D end.
No, he was not.
His rookie year, he was a D tackle?
He played D tackle basically his whole career.
Okay, point being,
he lined up inside.
It's
the same way Aaron Donald. Is he really a D tackle? He's lined up as an end for his entire career. But JJ lined up on the inside more than Aaron Donald ever has. That's what he did. Because he could win there. And they loved putting him and Jadeveon next to each other. Because that's bullying. Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was also listed as a DT for a long time.
Defensive tackles do not
I just looked at Pro Football Reference, and he was listed as a left defensive end for almost his entire time in Houston, actually.
And go look at Pro Football Reference. TJ Watt's listed as a linebacker. Fuck you. I don't care.
That's what he technically is.
Yeah, by technicalities, in a 3-4 every down lineman is a D tackle because the ends are the edge rushers. Fuck off. If you don't play on the end of the line, you are not an end. I know.
You look like Beaker from the Muppets.
What's up, Beaker?
What?
Beep. Is that,
Yeah,
isn't
he's
that
a
what
me-
Beaker says? Is he the me?
Yeah, he's a science assistant.
I just want
When
to
his
hear what
mouth
Geek
opens up like
talks.
this.
Oh, it's happening. We talked about this. The Miller Jake tangent. Here we go.
All right. Anyways, moving on to what award is next?
Offensive player of the year. Yes, I think it'll be Geek. He's gonna win it this year.
Sick.
No,
I could see that. The Vikings need another running back. Let's go.
Offensive player of the year for me. Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle
Interesting.
is my dark horse pick.
Interesting.
Don't know if he has the path, just because there is another sort of good receiver with him.
Well over 30. Tyreek's fallen off. Speed's
But
gonna take a
however-
step back and he's done.
There's a very good chance that Jalen Waddle can sneak out producing Tyreek Hill. They could both have a lot of yards, but Jalen Waddle could be very, very good this year. And he's very dynamic. He's young and he's explosive. Too electric at the ball out quickly. He fits that. Tyreek does too, but I don't know. Tyreek's not a dark horse. Jalen Waddle is. So give me Jalen Waddle for offensive player of the year. I think that'd be sick. I think he could actually do it. I think he has the narratives. I think he has the path. I'll
Is it a cop out if I pick the same player for 2 awards?
Yes.
You're gonna
Damn.
pick for wait.
Okay,
make
I
any
gotta think of a
sense.
new offensive player of the year. Geek, you go first.
Was it-
Well. No.
Just go. Just
No,
go.
he was not
Just
going to pick a rookie. He's thinking of picking the MVP as the offensive player of the year. And I know who it's going to be, and I'm going to stab him.
He was gonna pick
Fields
the
for
guy.
both. He was going to
Are you?
pick Fields for both.
Tell me you were gonna pick.
He was
Fields for
going to
both.
pick Fields for both.
Miller,
Because
look
he's
me in
the
eyes
most
and tell me that you
boring,
weren't gonna-
biased human of all time.
How dare you? Jordan loves winning all point. Never mind.
No. Oh, my God. Well, in that case, give me
Sorry,
Sorry, I
TJ
thought we were being
Hawkinson.
serious. Yeah, sorry, I thought we were being serious. Jakob Johnson, offensive player of the year.
Oh, so
What do
you're
you
saying
choose
it's
going
unserious
second
to
here?
pick a fullback. Got it.
Just Jakob because he's not productive. He's just a blocker.
Which one of you
Ouch.
two's going second here?
No,
I thought
honestly, give me, dude, I'm struggling so hard to pick somebody here. You know what? Give me Saquon. Let him just go fucking nuclear on a contract year. Daniel Jones is going to be even worse than expected, and they're just going to give Saquon the ball 45 times a game. He's going to average $183, and he's going to have the greatest season of all. Okay, that's a little aggressive. But the Giants, Daniel Jones is going to be really bad. They're going to rely on Saquon, and he's going to go fucking nuclear. That is a real take. The other stuff was a little nuts.
All right.
But
Miller seems like he's cooked it up. So
Yeah.
you have the floor.
I am going to pick a rookie for offensive player of the year as a dark horse, and I'm going to say Bijan Robinson for
oh,
offensive player of the year.
Ooh.
that's valid. I hate
The
you.
rookie
Because
ever-
this 40
Has the
or
rookie
this
ever won that?
Falcons had to have at least once. But this Falcons running game is about to go nuclear. Like, it is going to be something unfathomable because Arthur Smith loves to run the football. Their offensive line is really damn good. Keith Smith had a huge year last year as a blocker. They also have Parker Hesse. They have Jonnu Smith, who's a good blocker. And then they have other guys that can take the stress off of Bijan, but he doesn't really need that because he was, the best running back prospect we've seen since Saquon. So if he is ultra productive, especially considering that passing element or the receiving element of his game that is added to everything going on, and especially with everything going on with running backs right now, the narrative of a rookie coming in and tearing the league up would be beautiful for that award.
Huh. Sorry. Jim Brown won MVP as a rookie. Earl Campbell
Yeah.
won Offensive Player of the Year as a rookie. And Lawrence Taylor won Depoy as a
Lawrence
rookie.
Taylor was the last person to win
Yeah.
a Player of the Year as a rookie.
But it's only been done
But
3
this would be-
times.
That's what makes
The
it a
other
dark
2 were
horse.
rookies, though.
And this would
We're
be
rookies.
sick.
We're running backs, though.
Rookies.
That's what I meant.
Yes,
Fuck off.
Yes, the other 2 rookies to win a Player of the Year were
Yeah,
rookies.
fuck you. You can't speak either. Fuck you.
I'll pass, but thank you for the offer.
Oh my god, grow up.
I don't swing
what
that
are we
way,
moving on to?
unfortunately for you.
We're just moving on.
Jake learns gay people exist.
I knew they did. I just didn't want to acknowledge it. No, I'm kidding.
Oh
I'm kidding.
my
You
God.
didn't acknowledge that gay
Please don't
people
acknowledge
exist?
it. Please
Jake,
don't,
you
please
can't
don't
say
cancel
that.
me. Please don't cancel me,
Not
please.
All right,
say that.
so we will be hosting a tournament for Packers fans next week on the show to see who will be replacing Jake.
And you will be taking Sporkle quizzes about fullbacks. Whoever gets the highest score gets to be our new Packers.
That's
There
how
you
we
go.
did this. I wouldn't have been on here in the first place.
That's true.
But Depoy, I have
fuck.
two options here.
Pick one.
I'm sure you have a lot of options.
Yeah, there's like
Fine.
thousands of defensive players.
Fine. Jack Leonard.
Okay.
He was actually the last rookie who was close to winning a Player of the Year award. He got
Leonard.
legitimate votes his rookie year for.
You know, turnover machine, really good linebacker. Love it.
He's
narratives.
so dead about it now.
What narratives?
There are none.
What are the narratives,
That's the
Jake?
narrative.
Enlighten.
He's coming back from an injury that
He changed
Jim
his
Irsay
name.
that Jim Irsay basically came out today and was like he might not play this year, so if he comes back and plays and wins deep, whatever. Whatever.
He changed his name. That's the
Um,
narrative.
Okay. My dark horse, Brian Burns.
I
From the
like
Carolina
that.
Panthers.
I like that.
Obviously one of the better edge rushers in football. He was allegedly involved in trade talks this offseason with the Chicago Bears. Allegedly. And because of that, I feel like I think he's pretty close to a contract, didn't he? Or did he just get extended? Brian Burns.
I think he had an extension that just kicked in, maybe?
No, they haven't paid him yet. There's been rumors that they're close to a long-term deal, though.
Okay, so there you go. He was in trade talks this offseason. He's fighting for that big payday. He's one of the league's more quietly great edge rushers.
Mm-hmm.
He goes nuclear in Carolina's defense, which is who's their defensive coordinator now? It's Avero, right?
Yes.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Sure.
Avero's awesome. So he's got a great defensive coordinator to help him out there. So there you go. Brian Burns. Because I'm not allowed to say Tremaine Edmonds, even though I don't think there'd
Who
be a
said
chance
you
at Holy
weren't
Clinic.
allowed to?
Me, myself.
Oh.
That.
Yeah,
and
I would've
myself.
sounded
I'm doing
like
the
a
same thing because
moron.
I wanted to just be biased and pick a Viking, but I'm not gonna. Give me Pat Surtain.
Valid.
The Broncos improve a bit. Their defense maybe goes back to being the no-fly zone, and the head of that would be Pat Surtain. So give me the
That's
corner
true.
to go get it.
I like it. All right, Coach of the Year. Do the big one last, so we'll do Coach of the Year now.
What about comeback player of the year? No.
I don't know if we can.
Yeah. Who else could win it other than the guy that almost died? Let's think.
Oh shit!
Uh,
I didn't even think of that. Dude. I was
Podcast
thinking,
is over
dude,
after this episode.
I was
This
thinking, no,
podcast is
I was
over
thinking who
after this
had
episode.
like. I was just trying to think of what quarterbacks had injuries. What quarterbacks had injuries? Who missed games? What's that face?
I googled Coach of the Year odds. According to this website, guess who has the second highest odds to win Coach of the Year?
Belichick.
Matt Eberflus.
I can see it. I mean, the
if
narratives
the Bears
are
win like
there.
9 or 10 games
Yeah,
and make the playoffs,
the
then yeah.
second highest odds?
Who's the top?
Dan Campbell.
Campbell?
That
Oh.
Wait, how low's KOC? I'm intrigued.
I
about
don't.
to go bet
He's not
right
listed.
now.
It goes up to
Geek's
plus
about to go bet
2,000.
on the
He's not listed.
KOC odds right now.
Actually, though. Dude, the narratives
let's
are
look at
there
this
because everybody
website.
expects the Vikings to get so much worse. There we go. There's my pick for Coach of the Year. Give me KOC. Apparently, he's an underdog. So,
My dark horse pick. Okay. I'll change my answer if he's on the odds list. Where does Arthur Smith rank on the odds?
Oh fuck
Miller?
you!
Where does he rank? Anywhere?
Hold on. I'm gonna pull up a different one because that one only listed like 6 coach.
So if you can see all 32 and then pick from there.
Screw it. My pick is.
Oh no, Arthur Smith was 4th on that one.
That's not dark horse enough. Frick.
Yeah, no, not really.
You know what? Say it.
If you say that fuckhead,
I'm gonna say it.
don't. You know what? Say it so we can clown you.
Zach Taylor.
That's not who I thought you were gonna say.
Zach Taylor is going to win Coach of the Year. Him or John Harbaugh, one of those two AFC North guys. I could see either of them. Although John Harbaugh might actually have good odds because he's John Harbaugh.
Wow. Okay.
I'm taking Zach Taylor.
Okay.
The Bengals are going to be sick this year.
That's valid.
I don't know what I think they're going to. Yeah. No. We're frozen, or is he just deep in thought?
I think he's deep in. No, he's frozen for sure.
He's frozen.
So I will go into mine.
Then, Geek.
Yeah, his Discord died apparently. He just texted the group. So I'm actually gonna pick Kevin O'Connell. The video's fucked up for now, but it's okay.
Yes. Sounds
No,
good. That's a good pick.
No, looking at the
would've
betting
taken
odds,
him,
he
yeah.
is fifth lowest.
Well, here's the thing.
Like the odds are apparently higher that Dable does it twice. Than
I know,
KOC
but like,
doing
would he really win it? If like the Vikings win the same amount of games, like they're still gonna be really good, but he didn't win it last year.
You got to think of the narratives.
Sure.
The narrative is that the Vikings got so much worse, which only idiots believe, because losing big names does not mean. I know Packers fans are used to, coming back and beating us and making the playoffs every other year. You don't have that bad, man. So
I never said we were making the playoffs. I said you weren't. If I can't have it, you can't have it. Nobody gets to be happy.
That works at all.
Nobody gets to be happy.
No, but dude, KOC being lower betting odds than Brian Dable to win Coach of the Year, yeah. If the Vikings win 12 or 13 games again with the narrative that we were supposed to get worse, KOC wins.
It really would be karma if the Lions won the division this year because that's the only one we don't have a guy for on this podcast.
I really
should have
don't
picked the
see
Lions.
it. Jared Goff is so bad.
Yeah. Although, if they make the playoffs, I think Dan Campbell probably wins Coach of the Year for like a real pick. He's got the narratives. Yeah. Everyone loves him. He's fun. But just so you're caught up, I picked Zach Taylor.
Internet died.
I picked Zach Taylor. Geek picked KOC, and now it's you.
Pete Carroll.
Valid.
I think if the Seahawks end up winning their division, which is not very likely, but definitely possible considering the current state of that division, with the Niners not knowing what's going on at quarterback, and then the other two teams being the other two teams. If the Seahawks have a really good year, I think there's a world where Pete Carroll wins it based on narratives, considering where they were at a year ago.
That's valid.
So,
I like that.
Most youthful and energetic coach in football. Give him Coach of the Year.
I don't know about youthful, but for sure.
He has youthful vibes, is what I mean.
True.
He's definitely the oldest coach in the NFL.
He is literally the oldest coach.
He is the oldest coach in the NFL.
But he has the most youthful energy of any coach.
Older than Belichick?
Yes.
Yeah, he's older than Belichick.
Yikes, dude. That's crazy. I did not know
Bro's
that.
like 80. Not really, but not far off.
The MVP is the biggest one we save for last. They pick it. Move on, please.
Shot.
Thank you.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. If Lamar's not, I have two options. Is Lamar big enough a dark horse for you guys? Because I'm picking Lamar.
Let me see what betting
Lamar's
odds.
at plus 1,500.
Well,
Yeah,
where
I'll
does
take
that
Lamar.
rank, though?
Where does that rank among them?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Where does Trevor Lawrence rank? Because he's kind of my actual pick.
6.
Above Lamar?
Yes.
Oh, then Lamar Jackson for sure. I think this dude can seriously. He's gonna go nuclear win MVP. He's got an actual an actual guy who knows what he's doing in the passing game, an offensive coordinator. They had weapons for him. He still has Mark Andrews. He's one of the best rushing quarterbacks in the NFL. Lamar Jackson, you are the MVP of the league.
Hey, Geek, you want to know something wonderful?
Kirk Cousins has got to be so high on that list.
I'm looking at this website, which is sportsbettingdime.com, right?
Oh, sure.
They have Brock Purdy and Kenny Pickett listed above Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson in their odds.
Well, so my pick is real then.
Based.
I was picking it anyway. That makes no sense.
Based. Kenny Pickett's going to win MVP. Woo-hoo.
Dude, Kenny Pickett's
Justin
not even going to
Jefferson
stay
is the
the starter.
last player on here.
That makes
He's not
no
even the
sense.
He's not even the highest ranked non-quarterback.
Dude,
What?
He's below Sam Howell.
they picked somebody. In Brock Purdy who isn't even confirmed to be a starter this year over Kirk Cousins. That's crazy.
And Justin Jefferson.
That's crazy. Well, Justin Jefferson's a wide receiver. We don't care about them.
Jordan Love is higher than Justin Jefferson and Kirk. Trey Lance. Eric Carr.
Bro.
Goff, Russ, Watson.
Jordan Love for MVP.
The Minnesota hate is
Kirk has the
wild.
same MVP odds as Daniel Jones, according to this website.
They're equally good, so that makes sense.
Surely this has to be like the wrong website, right?
Yeah, this cannot be a good.
Oh,
you have to
no,
look at the
it's
actual
not.
Vegas odds.
It's not.
How do you even look at the Vegas?
VegasInsider.com.
Vegas Insider
It's
has
still
that's
pretty
the
low.
NBA. Never mind.
Well, I expect Kirk to be low. Nobody likes Cousins.
NFL.
But also,
Be like
Vegas betting odds doesn't really tell me much because, like, Kirk is low on the list.
well,
But looking
Vegas
at each
Insider.
different place, like, they just acquire, like, each different place. Because,
Oh,
like,
Geek, are you on VegasInsider.com?
yeah.
Vegas
Oh, look at the
Insider
picture for
gives.
Trey Lance.
Oh, no.
It's so funny. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, what? Why is it just teeth? What? It's
So
just
stupid.
teeth.
Dude, here's the thing is, Kirk Cousins, like Vegas Insider shows like all the sports books, and Kirk Cousins is plus 5,000 on every single one of them,
Except for PB.
looks like what
peanut
I don't know
butter.
what PB
Peanut butter.
Josh,
Peanut butter.
Josh Jacobs is plus 30,000. If you
No,
want to jump on that train.
okay, Miller, hit us with your actual pick. Did you already? No.
No, I didn't.
Who's your pick?
He's not as much of
Probably-
a dark horse as I thought, but I have to say Justin Fields.
Valid.
I mean, the talent's there, the narratives
Talked
are
about
certainly
this,
going
yeah,
from the worst
sure.
player in the, or the worst, not worst player, worst team in the NFL.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Bad
Going
Bears
from
fan.
the worst team in the NFL to potentially a playoff team. If he plays really well, first 4,000 yard passer in Bears history, narratives are there.
Yeah.
Plus Fields' good win game.
It was a good win game.
I'm taking
Simple
the
as
other
that.
Justin in the North. Justin Jefferson.
Mahomes?
The other Justin in the North.
Yeah, Justin Mahomes. You didn't hear? He
You
just got
haven't
signed
heard
by
of
the
Justin
Lions yesterday.
Mahomes? He's gonna be the
Oh.
Lions' new
Patrick's
starting
cousin.
quarterback.
No, he's not a quarterback. He's a long snapper.
Oh,
My bad.
okay.
No.
No.
Yeah, he's a 650
Actually-
pound blind deaf long snapper.
Hendon Hooker will win MVP.
No, I'm picking Justin Jefferson though. I mean, I think there's still a really
Hopping on the Zach Wilson 20,000.
Did you just say Hendon Hooker?
yes, he did.
Yeah, I did say Hendon Hooker. I think he's gonna win MVP.
Okay.
How could he? He's a
Okay.
dark horse. He's a dark horse.
Hurry up and finish so we can get off of here. Jake has entered delusion.
No, he's got a point. Jared Goff is going to come out game 1, throw 6 INTs. Week 2, Hendon Hooker takes
Sorry,
over.
sorry.
The Lions go
And first
undefeated.
7
anything.
INTs.
But I would
No.
just like to make it clear that I'm very sorry for what I have done. I'm sorry I started this. Somebody,
Oh yeah.
Miller, give me a little hand signal when he's done talking about Hendon Hooker.
All right, we'll move on to Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
Yeah, Justin.
Okay.
No, he's got a good
Yeah, I'm with
chance
you.
at being the first. All right. I
He's
love
not a
that I have.
quarterback. He'll never win.
Not a quarterback. Not a quarterback. Lame, 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 lame.
You know what team the last non-quarterback to win MVP played for?
Probably some ugly purple team.
Ah, yes, the
Probably a
Ravens.
team that has no Super Bowl rings.
The Ravens jerseys are actually pretty cool because they got black in them. Purple and yellow is an ugly color scheme.
So the Ravens.
Fran Tarkenton.
Nah,
Wait, he was a
your
quarterback. Never
yellow is
mind.
gross.
Oh,
You got pissed.
Was it Randy Moss? Was it Chris Carter? Was it
Adrian
Was
Peterson.
it?
No, I shouldn't say that. Packers got
Is
piss
that-
yellow in their jerseys.
Yeah. No,
Like the all green jerseys with the yellow numbers.
I
That is
just want to
piss
know why
yellow.
I'm the only one not allowed to talk about my pick. You two get to talk, but I try to, and you just are absolute cunts. I know what I have to do now. These two are never
It's
allowed
going
to
off the
speak again.
rails.
Like, actually, I'm going to drive it off the rails every time these two fucking useless idiots try to speak again. I'm so over it.
Speak when we have fun.
No. Okay. Having me be the only one never allowed to speak is not fun.
You can give your pick.
Can we start doing this to one of you two so you can see how it feels to not be allowed to talk and not be taken seriously ever? This is actually kind of annoying. I'm not cool with this.
Okay, if you're actually upset by it, I apologize, and we can move on.
Every episode, all the time.
Okay.
Fuck.
Okay.
It was funny the first time. Fuck
Okay.
me.
If this is the case, this is not something I was aware of.
I
If
bring
this
it
is
up
the
every
case,
time.
we will talk.
I get annoyed by
Okay,
it every
but
time.
You've
and
never
say,
brought
this
it up
is
in
stupid.
a serious connotation.
Okay.
We thought you were
But yeah,
playing into
I
the
picked
bit.
Justin
I
Jefferson.
apologize.
We can move on.
Why do you pick Justin Jefferson, Geek?
Does it
Please.
matter?
Yes, of course it
No,
does.
we don't. You don't have to do that. It's fine. I said it. Everybody else heard it. It's good enough. I'm good. What else are we talking about today?
I don't think anything. I think
Well, we
we
can't
covered
end
everything.
with this,
Awards?
so somebody say
Okay,
something.
who is our dark horse for the FedEx Aaron Ground Player of the Year? Whoever the fuck does that award. I
thought
don't
it-
think it's FedEx.
Oh, it used to be
Jalen-
FedEx. Is it something
Jalen-
else now?
Jalen Hurts for
Maybe,
the air.
I don't know.
Jalen Hurts for the air and Aaron Jones for the ground.
Oh,
It's...
I think it's still FedEx.
yeah.
I was right about that. Look at me go.
Sick. I swear it was like Pepsi a year ago or something.
Yeah, so on the ground, I'm going to say Kyle Juszczyk.
W.
And through the air, I'm going to say... Komet.
Huh. So, is the
Doesn't
winner?
it-
No, the
wait.
winner's always a QB.
It's got to be a QB because it's passing, not receiving.
Cole Komet's
But-
moving to quarterback, baby. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
It'll be.
You can't play into the
it'll be-
Justin Fields different position narrative.
It'll be
You can't
Kenny
do that.
Pickett.
Yeah, whoa.
It'll be Kenny Pickett,
sure.
Air Player of the
Good.
Year.
Oh my
Kenny
God.
Pickett and
I'm
Kyle
in pain.
Juszczyk.
Good.
I'm in pain. I'm in pain by this Kenny Pickett propaganda. He's now he's gone from you two calling him like mid to MVP and Aaron Ground
Not
Player of the
MVP,
Week.
Air,
Jake
Air Player
literally
of the Year.
MVP. Or
Well, that's Jake's.
Jake has
malarkey.
been
What?
in the
Say it
delusion
again.
today.
It's your malarkey. That's what it is. I said it, and I said it with my chest out. It's your malarkey.
My malarkey. Oh. What the fuck was that?
Well, that's a good way. That's a good place to end this thing, I would say.
Well, my picks for Aaron Ground Players of the
hit it,
Year.
hit it.
I didn't think about this. Give me
Kirk Cousins
something
and Alexander
stupid.
Madison.
I actually thought about saying that, but I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna be that biased. No,
Kirk Cousins and the women pride.
no. Give
What do you do
me
that one?
something ridiculous. Give me Geno and
not
Kenneth
ridiculous.
Walker. It's ridiculous.
That's-
Give me the
That's not
Seahawks. No,
ridiculous.
that would
Geno
mean they'd have
Hackett.
the
I think
Seahawks
Kenneth
have the best
Walker.
running back and quarterback in the league next year. Statistically, that's kind of ridiculous.
Based.
Can totally see it. No, I'm just
No,
kidding.
okay, I can see
Everyone puts
Geno though
touchdown
because of the
every play.
offensive weapons. It's
It's a Geno.
insane. And
He's got
or I could see
Jason
Kenneth
Lockett,
Walker. I
DK.
just don't think you can do both.
Walker himself.
We have to do play of the year. Who's our dark horse for play of the year?
Jordan Love to Christian Watson 99-yard touchdown on the first play of the game against the Bears week 1.
See, that would be
actually,
unfortunate because Watson's kind of known for dropping the first play of the year. Actually,
But he won't because he's going to win play of the year this year.
So what's actually going to happen? First play, Justin Fields throws a tight end screen to Cole Komet in the end zone, and he runs for 100 yards.
Is that your pick for play of the year? Okay.
But it's like it's a screen pass, and Justin's like getting hit when he throws it, so it
Okay.
comes out at a sidearm angle, and Cole has to
After
catch
this,
it like this,
we're gonna
and then
do
he
Walter
runs for 100
Payton Man of
yards.
the Year.
I'm actually down.
Who's our dark horse for being a good person this year?
Oh my god! Wait, the way you said that is horrible.
Zach Wilson.
No, I mean the dark
Zach
horse to
Wilson.
actually. Oh my god!
Zach Wilson for the Walter Payton Man of the Year.
Who's gonna
Lock it.
become a good
Nah,
person this
give
year?
me Tyreek Hill.
Give me Rodgers.
Rodgers isn't really a bad person. He's just a fucking weirdo.
Is Montez Burfict still in the league? Give me Montez Burfict. That guy.
No, Mac Jones. Mac Jones is the dark horse for
Oh,
that.
I'm getting a phone call. I'm getting a phone
fuck.
call.
No, but what were we talking about? What award were we picking?
Play of the year.
Yes. No, since we're doing stupid, Kenny Nwangwu, when he returns the opening kickoff of the year, 109.5 yards, catches the ball.
First week of the year.
Tampa Bay.
That could happen.
Actually,
That could definitely happen. Actually, Kenny and Nwangwu will take the first snap of the year at running back, and he'll run for 99 yards.
that would be more interesting. That'd be more interesting.
Miller, I just out of curiosity, who was on the phone, man?
It was the Las Vegas Raiders. As you can see, it was totally the Raiders on the phone.
Yes.
And they told me Bill Romanowski's coming out of retirement. So that is my pick, dark horse pick for Walter
I hate
Payton
that
Man
you
of the Year.
picture Romanowski as a Raider.
That was just the first thing that came to mind.
No, I just picture Romanowski as a Bronco.
Well, you hate the Broncos and he's a dick, so that's probably why.
Yeah, I don't want him associated with the other team I like.
It's gonna be
Associate him with the
chill- it's gonna be
Broncos.
chill.
The Raiders, because the Raiders are black and gold, and he doesn't like.
No,
black
they
people.
are
Anyways,
not.
black and silver, whatever their colors are. I looked at the
chill. Clay
Snapchat
Walker
app
wins
and
Walter
it
Payton
was
Man of the Year.
yellow, and it made me think of yellow.
No,
It was
dark
Bill
horse for
Romanowski,
Walter Payton, Man of the Year. Actual, like, dark horse.
I'm Zach Wilson.
No, I'm thinking of actual dark horses, like somebody who's always, like, picked for it but never wins. That was what I was thinking. And I'm going to go Adam Thielen.
Yeah.
In that case, give me Mailata.
There you go.
Oh, I wanted to pick the big funny singing Australian guy. I
Kirk
like.
Cousins, actually. Give me Kirk.
There you
Kirk's
go.
a
Yeah,
good
I
dude.
take Jordan
Kirk's
Mailata.
Kirk's a good dude.
Watching
might
quarterback
like
is
Kirk
making me
more.
like Kirk more.
I actually really do like Kirk Cousins.
You want to hear something really messed up about
It's funny
that?
to make fun of him, but I love Kirk Cousins.
I saw my buddy sent me a TikTok today, and it was this guy with it was a TikTok green screen. He had Kirk Cousins behind him, and he was like, "All I can think about when watching Kirk Cousins in quarterback is this." And then he gave a very detailed description about Kirk not being able to get it up in bed with his wife.
What?
We want to thank everybody so much for.
We cannot let it end with that either.
That's true.
It was 3 minutes long, and he was acting it out. It was like a straight up DM describing a scene.
Why?
I don't know.
What did Kirk
Well,
do to you?
I
No,
don't
but like, no, Cuzzo, just the way he takes. Nope, I can't. With what we're talking about, I can't. We're moving on from Cuzzo.
Dark horse
What do you guys
pick.
think about Marcus Mariota in quarterback, though?
I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, that's right.
I think Marcus Mariota is one of the coolest dudes ever. That's what I think about Marcus Mariota.
Okay, so far, he seems so boring.
I mean,
He's just very laid back. He's very chill. There's also a very good level of personalities and skill level. Like
Yeah.
Mariota's a lot more laid back and reserved. Kirk Cousins.
Here we go.
Patrick
Who should be
Mahomes
the
is
three
like,
quarterbacks on quarterback next year?
I was just
Burrow,
What do we call the
Lawrence.
requirements then? What are the requirements? Like what? Like the
They
Well,
play
this year
quarterback?
it was Mahomes. This year it was like best quarterback in the league, mid-level guy like Kirk Cousins, and then a guy fighting for a starting job like Mariota. Here are my three. Okay. Burrow, Hurts, Mayfield.
call Hurts a mid-level
Yeah,
guy.
that's Colin Hurts, a mid-level guy.
I'm not. No, I don't want to go by that criteria.
so
Those are just
I
the three
am.
guys I'd want to see.
I want to see.
I'm
that
also gonna go
criteria.
by that
By that criteria, I would go I'd probably put Danny Dimes in there because he's kind of like a fun personality,
Okay.
and he's mid-level. So I would go Burrow, Dimes, Mayfield, because Mayfield's probably going to lose starting job
I'm
at some point.
sticking
too.
with Baker also. I love the idea. I think Baker
Great
on that show would be
personality,
such good TV.
Great
Oh my
personality,
God.
fighting for a starting job. Yeah.
Yeah, that
And Burrow or Allen, one of those
I
two
was
has to be like
was
the
gonna go
Mahomes
Josh
level guy.
Allen, and then I was gonna go Tua.
That would be sick.
Why is that sad, Miller?
I don't want to see Josh Allen and Haley Steinfeld's relationship.
Ah, that's valid.
Yeah,
You'd
Miller would
get a
not
lot
watch
of
that season of quarterback.
No, he would, but he'd just be like, he'd have
Miller,
he'd have a picture of Josh Allen's face on the wall while he's throwing darts at it, watching the show.
You got it all wrong. Tub of ice cream, a Snuggie.
Yeah,
Tissue.
that's valid.
Miller, who are your three gonna be?
I am angry.
What's your three?
So I want to be a contrarian. I'm going to pick different guys.
Yes.
Give me Herbert.
Okay.
Justin Herbert's a fun guy.
He's
For
cool.
my kind of like, I don't know. So for the last one, what are we calling it? Are we calling it like a guy kind of on their last legs, or?
The way that like
It just seems like
those
a
people have described it
bad-
as a veteran on their last legs with like one last chance at a starting spot.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Essentially.
Well, he's not on a roster. Otherwise, I definitely agree.
That would make it more interesting. No, okay. So if we have to pick somebody,
Sam
that's not on a roster,
Darnold would be sick if he somehow competes for the San Fran job.
And it seems like he is. Shanahan's talking him up so
okay.
much.
Darnold, I'm not gonna pick him. I got Baker for my
Oh,
third.
I
but
gotta go
yeah.
Baker. The personality's too good.
yeah.
Personality,
So
fighting for a starting job. He's been in the
Herbert?
class before. Mariota has too.
give me. I'd like to see Dak.
Okay.
I feel like Dak would be nice on there. And I have to go because Baker's such an easy answer. Like that is such a good pick.
Yeah.
An easy answer, not in that it's bad. It's just the right
Yeah.
one. Give me God. What?
Well, I don't think he plays quarterback.
Agreed. Agreed. Agreed.
What did you?
Big agree.
You said, "Give me God," and I said, "I don't think he plays."
Big agree.
quarterback.
Big agree.
What? God himself.
It's the
on
most
Twitter
based
says-
thing Miller's ever said on this podcast. I think
I'm
Derek
so
Carr would be
sorry.
sick too.
No, I
As the
think
mid-level
Derek
guy.
Carr's a little above that.
Yeah,
Personally.
he's not
I
fighting.
mean,
for-
I meant like the mid-level tier
Oh,
guy.
yeah,
I was just
yeah,
throwing
yeah.
out names.
Yeah, he's a mid-level tier guy. I'm trying to think of who's like a bad starter.
Can he pick it? No.
I think it's too young.
Yeah, no.
I want like an
Absolutely
older
not.
washed guy.
Ooh, Colt McCoy.
See, but is he vying for a starting job? He's just.
I also don't know
his
if he has
last
the first
year.
year.
Kinda.
Yeah.
That's fair. Tannehill. We were literally
yeah.
just talking about him. At the
Oh my
beginning of the
God,
episode.
that would be interesting. Tannehill.
Tannehill.
Yeah. I don't know if he has the
So,
personality
top
that they
guy,
really
Herbert.
want.
Well,
Second guy, Dak,
Mariota
third guy,
really didn't
Tannehill.
either.
Yeah, I think for
Actually do
that
quite enjoy
guy, it's more or
Mariota's
less
presence
just watching
on
the
the show.
trials and tribulations of someone fighting for their job. And it is, this guy's a
Yeah.
really likable, fun dude, you know?
But maybe I've never cared about Mariota.
I also think
Like I've
Fields
never
would
been a
be good for,
fan
like,
or a
the,
hater. He just exists.
Lamar would be good for the elite tier guy.
Oh, a cool
Fields would be
one
good
like
for the mid-level tier guy.
See, I'm
Lamar
just predicting
Fields-
isn't going to be a mid-level guy by next year.
Lamar Fields and
Probably the
Baker
same,
would be a good combination.
Well, they have to decide
Lamar-
now. They followed Kirk all.
Yeah.
They followed all
Okay,
of
so
them
they
all
followed
year.
through the season.
So
I think Fields
Okay,
would be a
well,
good
then, yeah.
option for the mid-level tier guy.
Give me Herbert,
Um,
Fields, and Tannehill, then.
okay,
All right.
that's different.
Well,
I like it.
we have given our picks for pretty much any accolade or
Uh,
spotted quarterback can be given.
No, we got to
or
go through the
anyone can be
All-Pro
given.
teams. No,
Yes.
first and
Um,
second, and then Pro Bowl.
And the player teams.
Yeah,
Oh,
Player
God.
All-Pros.
Pro Bowl
We have to think like
rosters,
NFL players. Who
yeah.
do NFL players think are good?
The
I don't
NFL
want to
top
answer
100,
that. 'Cause
yeah.
It's wrong all the
Who's winning it?
time.
Who's our dark horse for executive of the year?
It's a. So, is that even an award? Oh yeah, it
Let's
is.
see.
Used to be.
How does it even work?
No.
You just have to do it's based off the off season and how your off season acquisitions.
Ryan Pace won it one year. All I know is it's a fraudulent ass award.
Oh.
Any
Is it
GM
though?
would
Did he
basically-
win it the
it's
year he
based on-
traded
it's
for
based on-
Khalil?
Based on how
He
good the
won it
offseason
after
is and how well
2018.
your acquisitions perform.
Yeah, give me
Potentially.
the Browns GM.
Whoever that is. Give me
Harry. I can't remember his first name.
give me the Falcons
I
GM.
don't want to just say Kwesi. I've picked a lot of Vikings here, so we're gonna go with. You know what? No, I can't do
Actually,
that.
give me Brett Veach. Chiefs. Give me Brett Veach.
That's cheating. You know what? Honestly, give me Howie. Is he
Howie would be
dark
sick,
horse
too.
actually
That's
though?
not a dark horse. He's Howie.
Yeah, that's why he's a dark horse. Nobody likes
But we
Howie. Every other executive hates him.
I mean, yeah, fair.
But yeah, I think that is all we got for you guys on this fine day. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the Run the North podcast. Thank you guys so much for all the support you guys have been showing the show in general. Obviously, we're hoping that you guys will get us to be big enough to. What are you laughing at? That's the third time you chuckled during this outro.
This episode is just chaos.
It is. Well, that's every episode. But
So,
again,
yeah,
we
but
have to
this
thank
is worse.
What's up, Geek?
This is worse.
But yeah. Anything I've said, don't take seriously, please, for the love of God. I need this.
Hold on,
Anyway,
wait. I gotta get a D20 rolling
Dude,
before
I
we end.
don't like the look of that. Hold on.
wait, no, wait, Geek,
Hold on, I promise,
Geek,
I'm rolling a D20. I'm rolling a
fuck.
D20.
Geek, do you have a D20 on you?
I
Don't roll
do.
yet, Miller. Don't roll yet. We gotta do some kind of stake for which one of you two rolls higher.
Did I re-roll then?
No. He told you not to roll, so you doing it means you're out.
Whichever one of you two rolls higher gets to do the intro next episode.
Oh, wait. I don't want to roll higher, though.
Okay.
Let him re-roll.
What's something that you would want to do?
Best of luck beating a nat 1 then.
Okay.
I got this.
Whoever rolls higher finishes the
I rolled an
outro.
11. Okay, we're finishing the
You finish
outro. No. Rolled higher.
Up over here this time so you can see it.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, re-roll.
slippery.
Fumbles don't count.
What do you mean a fumble? It wasn't a fumble. I straight
It's
up
not that
rolled
hard,
it. It was
guys.
a D1
Yeah, that
or a nat 1.
a nat 1 is called a fumble.
Oh, okay. 7.
Okay, well, all right.
Becky, send us off.
I don't remember where Jake was at, so yeah, make sure you go follow on all the platforms, subscribe on YouTube, help us grow so we can get this compound in Vegas that apparently we're gonna have. So that's gonna
If
be
you would
sick.
like to preemptively apply for a position at the Run the North office, the
Yeah.
link will be in the description
If
below.
you want to be an
Your job will
editor,
be secure
thank you.
in like a
Bryce,
decade.
you are not allowed to apply. Geek will murder you.
No, see, that's not fair. I,
I
deal
think
with
we should
Grace
edit
a
it this
lot.
way. No, I think we should edit it this way. Flip
No,
some kind of
No,
table.
but see, the thing is, I talk with Grayson a lot. I just think a lot of his takes are stupid.
Well, what,
And I'm
what do you
not
think about his
wrong.
take on the editing?
I don't know.
Kind of
His,
editing, yeah.
his videos
Well-
are pretty good, actually. The takes inside them are stupid and wrong, but the videos are pretty good. It's good quality video. That's an outro. But yeah, that's it. Go follow everywhere. Support the show however you can so we can build our compound. So yeah, that'll do it for this week. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye. I got one in. I had to have gotten one in.
Bye!